Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Crowdfunding Comics Creator Power Hour. You got Nile in the house. We got the teen sensation, Mr. Billy Tucci. Nefarious is with us. And, of course, Miss Cara Nicole. Everyone, welcome. Happy Wednesday, y'all.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy stormy Wednesday out here in the Northeast.
That's right.
Chilly hump day.
Can you
hear
you're
like half my stuff went outside today and working outside. It's gorgeous here.
Yeah, we're like covered in rain and hail and just trying to survive, burning like waste and metal barrels, just staying warm.
Yeah. It's the bald head.
Yeah. Eating squirrels. Yeah. It's just like chicken, Billy. Did you ding that bell, Billy? Did you ding that bell? There we go. Now shit's about to happen.
That shit is on.
Yes, and we got a great show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show. We got a great creator on. We're going to be talking some crowdfunding, some method, a campaign that he has going on. Our guest tonight has done it all. I mean, his hands have been in part of IPs that we all love. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Spawn, Lock and Key, oh my God, a gambit of things, stuff that we've seen, transitioned into shows on Netflix. I mean, just an abundance of stuff, an all around great, amazing guy. Long time coming having this gentleman on the show. Everyone, let's welcome Mr. Jay Fotos.
Yay!
What's up, man?
All right, I'm excited.
Let's do this.
I've been dying to get on your show, and I think this is the perfect fit right now.
Well, the PayPal
come on anytime
transaction went through, so now we can have you on.
Yes.
No, but this is great.
I got really shitty lighting on my camera. This sucks. Billy, you guys got really good lighting.
No, my lighting.
Neff's lighting's like mine.
It's just an office light.
Cara's got really good light. I got to work on my lighting because I look like.
Yeah, well, you got to see Neff's got his nice studio too.
Yeah, but
streaming from.
I'd like to see a little more light on your face. It's very pretty. Show it off.
Yeah, well, I got like that really bad screen light on my face. All right, whatever.
Well, it's good. It's all good, man. It's all good. So, Jay, man, you have been in the industry for 20 plus years, working on some great stuff. We've never had you on the show, so I do just want to do like a quick, real kind of origin story, just so our viewers that are going to be watching this live and are watching this recorded can get to know you better. And then we'll dive into your campaign, and then we'll talk about processes and some other stuff, and maybe some things that have just been going on in the industry.
I got a ton of questions for you guys. So.
Yeah, so tell us a bit, man. How did you get started in comics?
Let me see. Well, I went to art school back in New York City. I went to School of Visual Arts for that long, and then dropped out and I went to Parsons School of Design. Nothing for comics or anything like that. It was more of like trying to find my way of like I loved art, but I didn't know what to do with it, kind of thing. So I just took classes that I thought could help me out. And then I ended up moving out to Arizona. And by the luck of the draw, I ended up working with Todd McFarlane in 1998 is, I think, when I started working with him professionally. And then, I've said this 100 times that I got thrown into the wolves. I mean, my first gigs were Curse of the Spawn, Spawn the Undead, Sam and Twitch, Spawn the Dark Ages, Cygor, all at once. And my first time, so it was like a sink and swim kind of thing. And I was working with the best guys in the industry. So, I was sleeping on the floor there a lot. Just to get everything. So, and then just being around Todd, if you guys know Todd McFarlane, at that time, that was like the heyday of McFarlane Toys and the animated series and the movie hit. And it was just like, it was the time to be there. And then I was lucky enough to kind of get involved in certain projects, everything that he was basically doing, because we were right there. So there were so many opportunities that were thrown my way. I called it my comic book boot camp, that 3 years that I was there with him. And then from there, kind of branched off and went freelance, still working for Todd, and then worked with Chaos Comics, and then moved into IDW and doing stuff with Image Comics, and then working with the Frazettas on the Death Dealer Frazetta comic stuff back with Image Comics, and obviously 68 why we're here tonight too, and then all the stuff with IDW from Lock and Key, 30 Days a Night, Transformers, the IDW games I've worked on.
Shit.
Billy, your buddy Bo Smith with Wynonna Earp.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I've done a ton of stuff with Bo and those guys, and I mean it's a long list. This gray came from somewhere, and it was from that. So
Yeah.
So what was it like working with Todd? You hear stories about him. I mean, is it true? Was it hard working for him? Was he easy to work with?
No, he's easy to work with. He's like kind of like if he's very into sports, right? So he's kind of like plays this kind of the coach kind of thing. And he was in his office up at his house, and then he would come down to our office periodically, and then he would just come down, and we all just we were the only comic book guys in the whole office. So every time he came down, he was usually pretty energetic because he likes talking about comic, so he was a lot of fun. And then, just on his ideas. And I was talking to somebody about this a couple of weeks ago about how, like, when we were working on all those titles outside of the main title of Spawn, that there was like, and and it was funny, because he would say, I don't ever want to see pink or purple in any of these books, or, like, and then this guy, Brett, that I did a podcast with him a couple of weeks ago, said that he was there the day that Todd sent down a fax. That's how long ago that was, that he just hand wrote saying that I don't ever want to see pink in any of these books or something like that, so that was kind of his way to kind of bust our balls, I guess, in a way. But no, he was great. I mean, again, just his energy and, his design sense is really well. I think I learned a lot from him in his design sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just learned so much working there. I mean, just on so many different levels, from comic books to the movies to the animation to the toys to, album covers and everything that kind of came that way when I was working there. I mean, I had my hands in somehow. So
yeah, that's cool. And you've, like you said, you worked on Lock and Key, that was
Yeah.
a series on Netflix and stuff like that. I mean, how was it to see some of these projects that you've worked on, in comics actually start hitting the screen and being received well by viewers?
Yeah, I mean, another one was a V-Wars, right? So
V-Wars,
Jonathan
yep.
Mayberry wrote a novel, then we did a series based off it, and then he messaged me, I think, well into when we started the series, and then he didn't realize it was me working on the book with him, and he's like, oh, Jay, you're a good you're a lucky rabbit's foot, because everything that I've worked on has gone to like some kind of TV show or something. And sure enough, that went to Netflix too. So he had a series. V-Wars was a series on Netflix as well. So yeah, I worked on 3 or 4 different. Wynonna Earp was on Sci-Fi, and then went to Netflix after Sci-Fi. So, but probably like 3 or 4 different properties that I've worked on went to some sort of TV show or something.
That's cool, man.
And hopefully 68. I mean, now we got a team on 68 right now to do a TV show, an adult animated series. That's what I'm allowed to say. So yeah, there's a couple showrunners, a writer, producers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then they're trying to get it sold, I guess. So hopefully that will come into play in the next year. And we're pretty excited about that because we definitely want to. I mean, have you guys seen? I keep saying this, but it's fresh on my mind. Is Blue Eye Samurai
Yes,
on
yeah,
Netflix?
loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I mean, I shit my pants. I'm like, that's 68. How they did it and that style, and because it's not anime or it's, I mean, it's kind of it's Asian style or samurai or whatever. But I don't consider it anime. But the way they did it, the mood and tone, and was rated R and nudity. I mean, none of our stuff has nudity or anything, but the graphics, blood and guts and all that kind of stuff, and just how they did it. I'm like, that's how 68 needs to be. Because it needs to be really. It's how I pitch it is just like Night of the Living Dead meets Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
So it needs to be really gritty and dirty and have that, Vietnam vintage kind of haze to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Apocalypse Now kind of has that kind of vibe to it. That's what we've been pitching from the very, very beginning. It's like, it's got to have that. Right when you get into it, you got to have that, like, kind of that feel to it.
Yeah, that aura and vibe of it, So we're here. We're going to be talking about, like, that's what your campaign's about. Is you've got 68, the ultimate omnibus.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is 68? Because this is an omnibus, so we know this is a collection of your work on this series.
Yeah.
When did you how far back do we go in your career?
All right. Well, let me give you the pitch first, right? So the premise of the story is basically kind of like what I said, which is we're taken from the original Night of the Living Dead that came out in 1968. And we're using that as the springboard of that's when the zombie apocalypse happened, right? But that movie just kind of focused on that little rural townhouse or rural Pennsylvania or farmhouse or whatever. And then ours were just basically pulling the camera back and going, what else is going on, right? Obviously, the Vietnam War. So we're dropping you right in the middle of the Vietnam War when this is happening. And then also throughout there's a main story that's going on. But then as we're going through the main story, we veer off and we go to all these different, what else is going on in the world, like up in Canada and, in the Mideast or middle America, what's going on there in New York City. And so we kind of bop around all over the place, but the main focus of the story stays in Vietnam. So, and it's just, it's just like a no-brainer in a sense of like, anybody, it's like Night of the Living Dead meets Full Metal Jacket. And then they go up and they get it immediately, And it started as a one-shot back in 2005, around there. And it was supposed to originally go through one other publisher that folded. And at that time, I brought it to Image and we put it through Image. And we put it out just as a one-shot. And at that time, that's when I got the opportunity to do the Frazetta Comics stuff, and then started doing Lock and Key at that same time. So I got really busy with that. And then when the Frazetta Comics stuff ended, that whole time, everywhere we went, everybody kept asking about doing more 68.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, when we get the time, blah, blah, blah. And then finally that happened, and then we jumped back into it. And then now, we have 6 volumes, of 68 now. So there's a lot of these books, but now, the big one's going to be the collected one that collects everything. So
it's a phenomenal concept. I think when I remember the first time I saw it was probably at the Phoenix Con, and you have a big display that for those of you who don't know, Jay has a couple of soldiers, zombie. I
got 5 of them actually.
5 of them. Viet Cong one.
Yeah.
He had a Jeep. It's just all the stuff, all Vietnam era stuff. I mean, right down to the T, everything exactly what the soldiers wore.
Yeah.
The platoon and shit, like spot on. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good idea that I got like mad.
No, well, how that all started, like going back in early Phoenix Comic-Con days, and then this is when like cosplay was just kind of starting to get some legs, right? And we were at a con, and then obviously when you guys have all been to conventions or whatever, and then you're just kind of walking through the aisles and everybody kind of has all their stuff, and it's kind of the same stuff, or everybody's stuff is kind of laid out the same or displayed with their pop-up sign, whatever. So I was noticing all these cosplayers, everybody stopping them, taking pictures and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had like just somebody dressed up as a zombie and then at our booth and whatever. And then I'm like, well, yeah, I got to have one of my buddies hang out and be a zombie all day. And that's not going to be fun for them and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, let me just make a dummy one, So I made a dummy one and set up like a little area so people could come in and take pictures with them. And it was a hit and like it was nonstop. And as soon as anybody walked in, they're like, oh, what is all this about? And that's when we, pitch them our idea. And then they're like, oops, sold, And then I would make another one. Then I would make another one. And then another. And then like a Jeep. And we got this Jeep. And then this like 1948 Willys Jeep that was basically just a rolling paperweight. It had no engine in it or anything like that. But we painted it up to look all like, had 68 logo and everything on it. And
that's cool.
And then we had a bunker. We had a big cage that you would get into and take a picture that, it said, don't feed the dead. And you would get in this big bamboo kind of cage and take pictures. And yeah, we went pretty crazy with it all, and then, that's what we got known for. So it's like every year we're like, all right, we had to top what we did last year. So we bring in another something new or another, whatever. So, and it worked great. Everybody loves it,
Yeah.
So,
that was set up you brought the Jeep and everything to conventions. Like you had all that set up.
It's
that's
massive.
insane.
It's massive.
I mean, we had a big 20 by 40 foot space that they would give us, and then I would bring in a trailer with the Jeep and I got my buddies. We all push it in. Like I said, it was just a rolling chassis, And then what was great at the end of the show, we just piled everything on top of the Jeep and rolled it out and threw it right on the trailer and went, which was great. For unloading, but yeah, no, the Jeep's gone now because every year somebody's asking me, hey, you want to sell it? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, maybe soon because I'm tired of lugging this thing around.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling it. I ended up building a life-size horse and this ghoul on this horse character that I did for Rising Rebels, and now I'm lugging that thing around.
How do you build
But I got smarter with that one. That one's got wheels on the bottom of it, so I just roll it in and out everywhere.
Can you share any photos of that, Jay? Do you have something you could share?
Shit. Not on me or
how do you build a horse?
He built
are you sculpting it?
I got a buddy of mine who has an FX shop here locally, and he's got the welding and all the stuff that we need to do to build like massive props and stuff like that. So he helped me build the frame out of like metal tubing, and then I bought a horse skull and stuck it on there, and then just glooped on all this crap all over it. And I mean, if you look up Rising Rebels, Jay Fotos somewhere, and something should pop up with that thing, because every time we do a show, we have that recently. So. But yeah, that thing's
phenomenal, guys. I love it. Can Cara get?
Oh, I was just saying, I have seen his displays because we were in the same area, and they are amazing. Even for smaller shows, like dude's impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's and the concept is phenomenal. You think of like if everyone's a fan of Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah.
You think of when that happens, and they as Jay was saying, they focus on that small town, but this would be a worldwide infestation.
Yeah.
I just imagine these dudes. It's 1968. It's the height of the Vietnam War, right? And here these poor fuckers out there in the jungle.
Yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden they're not just fighting against Viet Cong or North Vietnamese soldiers or insects. Now they're fighting zombies.
Yeah.
Dude, it's freaking brilliant, man.
Yeah, I read that. I mean, it pretty much writes itself. I mean, we did, Mark Kidwell did all the writing, and Nat Jones and I did the art on it, but we all kind of collaborated on story ideas, and then also like facts of the era. I mean, if you look in our book, every chapter we end it with facts that we actually used in the story with real photographs that showed like this really happened, and here's photographs to show. So every chapter we do that, which is kind of a neat history lesson at the same time, So it's kind of neat.
Oh, do you mind if I show some pictures of your setup?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, just stalked your Facebook page real quick, and I
Mhm.
saw this
I
is
was
pretty
looking
cool.
for him too.
Yeah. Oh, here I'm gonna just actually let me make the. I'm just gonna make this full
Go
screen
big.
so we can. There we go. We'll do that. There we go.
Mhm.
You got like
Yeah.
heads on spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
Look at
right there. That is the bunker, right? So I had a bunker. I built a bunker and it has an M16, like a fake M16 in there
Yeah,
that
that's an
people can
M6.
get in. Yeah, and like take pictures like they're shooting the gun in the bunker, and it has all like sandbags around it, and
Like, where did you get the M60? This replica.
it was an airsoft gun, which
Wow, yeah.
they look completely real heavy. You know, it had a tripod thing that was on, so people would get in there and take pictures. And then
it's
me
it's a
being
tax write-off.
me being a marketing guy, you know, anybody you take a picture, boom, you get the 68zombie.com right above their head, you know. So that was one. Yeah. So that's Tanker Tom, one of the characters. He's got a tanker helmet. Oh, that's the cage I was talking about.
Yeah.
So
For
people will get in
POWs?
the cage
Yeah.
and take a picture in the cage. You got to get a
There's the
picture. You
Jeep.
find there's the Jeep.
There's the Jeep. Look
Yeah,
at
the
that.
Jeep, and then Jungle Jim standing right next to that. And you can see the cage off to the side there. Then there's Meat Grinder, I think, is standing on the back of the Jeep up
Yeah,
there.
but see, who's the guy with the gas mask on?
That's Jungle Jim.
All right, so
There he is.
Jungle Jim's got bamboo.
Yeah, he's got
got his-
bamboo gauntlets.
Yeah, gauntlets, bro.
Yeah,
It's
so
all the-
he's like kind of our resident, like Captain America meets Rambo, like just kills as many zombies, complete badass. And like I said, he has these gauntlets that he made with bamboo so they can't bite his arm, you know?
Yeah.
And he just kills and blows up as much stuff as he can. Yeah, he's like the fan favorite, the Jungle Jim. Yeah, that's the front of the
That's so cool.
the bunker. Yeah.
Man, what a setup.
It is one of the coolest comics you'll ever read.
Yeah,
It
so
really is. And it like how this is not and you know, man, I'll say a prayer for you that this becomes a movie because this is the kind of movie I'd want to see.
yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Cool.
That is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, because I, you know, we all see it as like, oh, this is a movie. This is, you know, so it was easy for me to kind of create these character, you know, these props, because it just helped really visualize like, oh my God, this is straight out of a movie, you know,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
It's so interactive too, though. Too like if you think about it, like you've got people, you're doing these conventions, so you're trying to like get new readers, right? You know, you're
it's the same, like
promoting
I was saying
your
with cosplay.
Yeah,
you know,
just
with all the
get them
cosplayers.
immersed in like the world physically, which is cool. Which now makes them even probably want to check out the book even more because now you have these
Because
life
people walk up and they're like, "What the
characters.
hell is this all
Yeah.
about?" You know.
Yeah,
So what's the story about Jungle Jim? What do we focus on him? Let the
He's
reader
just
know,
he's a character that kind of comes into the mix, and he is like a regular and I'm gonna bash this, and Mark's gonna kill me for not explaining this right, but he has this alter ego that when he puts on this mask, he turns into this like kind of ultimate fighting machine, basically, or zombie killing machine. And it's kind of like what's the kind of word I'm looking for here? But he's so he's like this guy that's been basically he's out in the jungle looking for his commander who saved his life, knowing that he's a zombie and he's looking for him, and he just wants to kill him to end his life so he could be at peace. So as he's out there trying to look for his commander, he gets involved in he gets attacked by tiger, and he gets involved in all these different circumstances, and he just, you know, beats the crap out of, you know, and blows up a lot of zombies along the way. He's like I said, he's the pretty much the fan favorite of the whole series is Jungle Jim.
yeah, that's cool. Let's bring up
Just
the
looking at
campaign.
him, he's a badass, you know.
Heck
So
yeah.
Yeah, for real. All right, so we got the campaign up. You've got the 68 Ultimate Omnibus.
mhm.
You're at $45,170, which is incredible. You got 285 backers. There's 11 days to go on this. Before we dive into the campaign, I'm going to play the campaign video, and then
Yeah.
we'll go through all the stuff you got.
Okay.
Jay Fotos here, and welcome to a very special exclusive Kickstarter event, the 68 Ultimate Omnibus. We're really excited to bring this to you because it collects 18 years worth of work into one massive 900 plus page hardcover slipcase signed edition. But we can't do it without your help. So please join us in this campaign and bring this project to life. And as always, thank you for your continued support.
Wave of murder is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. Officials and newsmen first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, reports persisted. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. The unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
I love Nixon just getting like dragged down.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah, so that was like if you could see my face, that was probably like my 20th time trying to get it out.
Oh yeah.
So I look at that and I'm like, yeah, he doesn't look very happy there. That's probably like my 20th time trying to get it right. But yeah, the video part I'm not a big I'm not very good at, but
not the strong suit.
No,
It's pretty good.
Need to be.
Yeah, I think you did a great job.
Right.
Yeah, let's go.
Goes
I
awesome.
would say though, if we're talking about crowdfunding, I would remove the Kickstarter logo from the end of it so that you can use that video in other places.
yeah, I mean we could always take it out, right?
Yeah. And you put it in a place where it's easy to cut out. It's not like through your entire video.
Yeah.
All right, so you're talking over 900.
Yeah,
pages?
so to give you a kind of a scale, like so here's like the Lock and Key compendium that we put out was about a year or so ago. So this has all of 15 years of Lock and Key in one book. So ours is basically going to be the same meat and potatoes size of this, but then ours is going to have a slipcase, and also it's going to be signed by us with a tip-in signing plate. So it's going to have a little bit more bells and whistles than the Lock and Key one. But yeah, I mean, I'm really pushing to do like super high quality. If anybody saw one of my older campaigns was the Red Morden book, which is a slipcase book that we did. And the printing and everything came out fantastic. So, we're going to be doing it's basically the same printer and all the really nice quality that this printer does. So I'm really excited that was like my test book in a way, going overseas with a printer, and they knocked it out of the park. So I felt confident that I can hand them a 900-page book.
Oh, that's incredible, man. What's great about this too is how awesome it's going to look on the collector's shelf.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be really cool because like the slipcase, you see the picture with the barbed wire going around the zombie's face. Mm-hmm. So if you flipped it around, the barbed wire is gonna wrap all the way around the box. So when you pick it up, and it's gonna be like spot gloss, so all the barbed wire is gonna be spot gloss. So and it's all gonna wrap around the box in uniform.
Oh, nice. So the spine and everything lines up. So the
barbed
wire
so the spine, so when there's barbed wire, it wraps around the spine and the back, on the slipcase, so it all matches up.
Oh, very cool, man. That looks
Now,
awesome.
Tommy Reviews wants to know if there will be more 68 in the upcoming future.
Well, yes. I mean, we've been talking about it, forever, how long, but it's a matter of just bringing when there's more interest in it, right? So obviously if there's a TV show, there's people going to go, oh, well, what's this, where's the source coming from, and they're going to go out and try to get the books or, whatever. And then at that time we because we want to do more Jungle Gym. There's a few other stories that we want to do. So it's all kind of there ready to go, but it's a matter of just kind of bringing that interest back. So like, once we get in the position of like, all right, there's a TV show going to be happening, then we can kind of ride on that coattails and produce more stuff. And then also maybe down the line we'll put out a soft cover the slipcase book. But this book, the Kickstarter one, we're only printing this thing once. This is like kind of the collector balls to the wall one. So we're only doing it once. So because people ask like, oh well, I'll pick it up on Amazon. No, you're not going to get it on Amazon. This is the only time we're going to be doing this edition. So maybe down the line, again, like if we do if there's a TV show, we'll do a soft cover and we'll do that through Image Comics. As originally we put the series through Image Comics. So we'll do that and we'll go through Image and let them deal with the distribution and all that stuff kind of. But this one is like the crown jewel of like, you want to put this on your shelf as more of a collector book,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And Dark Admiral Marter
book.
says that he picked up 68 hardship in a couple of the trades at a con.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Hardship was like another one shot that we did. Like I said, there's like all these stories that we kind of pepper in through the main story that kind of show what's going on, like up in, like I said, in Canada, in rural, Midwest and San Francisco and New York. And so we kind of jump all over the place with it. Just kind of let everybody know it's a worldwide epidemic, but the main focus kind of stays within the Vietnam.
Yeah. And then Neff asked him in the chat, what he thought about it. And he said he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And everyone, too, I encourage you. The link is in the description below. The link to the campaign's pinned to the top of the live chat. Cara has been posting the link to the campaign in the chat as well. Go in and take a look. There's some great interior previews here. I don't know how well it is to see on the screen here, but you can go in. You can see them in more detail. I mean, the interior
you can
work
zoom in
alone
on them.
is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, we kind of break it down for each story or each chapter that's kind of in there, so you can kind of see, because we have like different artists and people coming in, so there's different styles of art for different stories. Then we have like, what's kind of cool is just like with the whole Kickstarter campaign platform, you're able to do all this extra stuff, right? And this is something we can kind of talk about because I got a couple of questions for you guys. Because like we offer like, oh well, you can get the book and then you can get like I make these 3D, these little mini prints that a lot of guys do, and I make them 3D and you get 3D glasses, and then on the back we do sketches, so you're able to pick out of the four of us, either Mark Kidwell, Nat Jones, myself, or Jeff Zornow. You could do an all-in package, which you get sketches from all four of us. Or you can kind of pick and choose and go, oh, well, I like Nat's stuff. I want to get one from him, or one from Jeff, or one from Mark, or whatever. So if you scroll down, that's where you can kind of see all the add-ons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
I love the black. I love the black that you have for the borders too on those pages.
Oh, the gutters, yeah.
Yeah, the gutters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
and
you
we
have
have like a lot of
behind the
we have
scenes?
a huge, because we're known for our cover art. Everybody loves our cover art for all of our books, so we have all the covers. We have a huge art cover gallery. Then there's like the making of, where you can see right here. There's like scripting with the pen and inks and some notes and like behind the scenes kind of stuff. So there's a whole big section of that.
All right, so now your tiers, so you can get the whole digital omnibus for $50.
Yeah.
And then the actual physical book is $125.
Yeah, and you also get the digital with that.
Okay. Very cool.
And then there's the all-in. This is what I was saying, that you get the book, the PDF, and then you get all these sketches from each one of the creators.
Oh, that's all for $225. You're getting the book and you're getting like original sketches from all the creators.
Yeah, all four of us. Yeah.
Wow, that is a deal. that is a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time trying to figure out, because we're like, hey, we know it's an expensive book, right? So we're like, we're nervous about like, are people going to spend the money to do this? So we're,
yes.
We're just trying to kind of figure out, where's the happy medium of, what should we sell it for, kind of thing. And then what kind of tiers and stuff like that. So, coming up with, again, working with this Kickstarter platform, you're able to do this kind of stuff. There's no way you could do this, going to a distributor or a publisher, because they would charge you like, oh, you want a sticker? Oh, we're going to charge you 25 cents.
Yeah.
To stick it in with it. And then we got to shrink wrap it. That's going to be another 25 cents. It's virtually impossible to do that through the distributor. So doing it like the way we do it, you're able to offer all this stuff, and then also with the stretch goals, just doing add-ons to the quality of the book, putting a ribbon bookmark in it, custom end papers. And then, then we get into the stickers and if you scroll down, we actually give away a free comic book too, which is kind of cool. And this is kind of cool. We're going to right here, if you hold it right here.
Is that John Lennon?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Wow.
So originally there's a story behind
it was John Lennon.
Yeah. So there's a story behind this. Originally, this was supposed to be an alternate cover when we were actually doing the series through Image. And we solicited it that way. It was in Preview's catalog and everything like that. But one of the Image founders, who I think is a pretty big Beatles fan, either didn't like the idea and he made us yank it because he thought we were going to get sued by Apple is going to come after us. I'm like, it's parody, type in zombie Beatles and you're going to see a slew of shit, So we were like, okay, so we ended up pulling it. We never put it out or anything like that. And we actually did the Fab Four because we were going to do all four, based off the Beatles White Album. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do here is as we reach these tiers is going to be the John, Paul, George, and Ringo little mini prints here. Right. And then what's going to be kind of cool is that you're going to flip them over. You remember like the old school Star Wars cards? So you all flip them over and you put them together and it makes another image on the back. And we're not going to tell you what that's going to be until we actually get them all.
That's exciting.
But so there's gonna, we're basing it off the Beatles White Album, their photographs that they did, and so actually gonna preview the Paul one coming up because we just went over our 45 mark. So I'll show the Paul one next, and then when we reach the next one, we'll show the next guy, and then hopefully we get to our goal.
That's very.
And then we have the creative team and whatnot. So
you thought about zombieing yourselves and have them being cards?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, maybe down the road we might. That'd be kind of fun to do. But it's way more fun just, pulling these guys like we did Jimi Hendrix, Elvis. We did all these guys that have been zombified. They're way more fun, to do those guys rather than us,
Yeah, definitely. No, this whole thing
great
looks like
stuff,
a masterpiece,
bro.
dude.
It's a masterpiece.
This is really cool. Especially for the collectors out there, and the fans that you have now, just to have this collected in this omnibus of this quality. And even for like the new readers, like here's everything. Here you go. I mean, you're talking, $125. Some people might be like, wow, $125, but you're talking 907 pages.
Yeah, this thing's massive.
And hardbound, slip.
I mean,
cover,
I'm looking at, here's the
stuff
lock
here,
and key book, right? And then the retail on this is 130, and ours is same size, has a slipcase, and it's signed by all of us. So the value, I think, we got a lot of value in it. For that 125. We definitely, when we were like trying to price this thing, we're like, oh man, it's going to be a really expensive book, and we're doing all the comparisons, and we're like, well, ours is, the same price as this one or even cheaper than this one, but we're giving this, and this even more to it. So, it's just a matter of, we understand that, and again, you guys know, as you're doing your campaign and you get those guys that drop out, and you're like, oh shit, and I always send them a message, say, hey man, I saw you, canceled your pledge, everything okay? And 99% of the time, you're like, yeah, I just don't have the money, and blah blah blah. I got a bunch of bills this month, and I'm like, okay, well, just if you come across, a lot of these times, some of these guys jump back on at the very end.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely have that spike towards the end of the campaign. Now, I know we've talked about different things, and you're running a Kickstarter. Before the show, we were talking about how Billy does simultaneous, Indiegogo's Kickstarters at the same time. Cara rolls over to Indiegogo, other platforms.
Yeah, I got a question about that.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on trying to do those styles as well?
All right, so my question. All right, so you guys are doing at the same time doing Indiegogo and Kickstarter, right? So
Only
Yeah.
Billy.
all right,
Billy.
I do.
okay, and then I heard that like that's kind of a no-no. It's like because you're double dipping, I guess. Or
Yeah, well, you could make it. So what I do is I make them exclusive. I make it that you could only you could get like each campaign is exclusive to the other. So,
I gotcha.
On the Indiegogo there's something on the Indiegogo that is only for the Indiegogo fans.
Gotcha.
And then the same thing with the Kickstarter. There's
Now you don't find that there's guys that are Indiegogo guys and Kickstarter guys that they just kind of jump back and forth, or
Yeah,
People
well,
will back
it's
both.
weird
They
because
back
like,
both. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
some
back Billy on
people-
both platforms. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Again.
And some
He's
people
exclusive.
they just are strictly Indiegogo, and some people are strictly Kickstarter. Now, when we first started, Indiegogo was bigger than our Kickstarters always. This last book, though, Kickstarter was bigger than Indiegogo.
really?
Because we would always launch one and launch the other, but Indiegogo for our latest campaign, the one that's in demand now, Kickstarter was bigger. It was weird because they started having a shift with our last book, that Kickstarter and Indiegogo, the last She books. Indiegogo had a little more backers. I mean, had more funds, but Kickstarter had more backers in the first 30 days. And what's cool about Indiegogo is that you can it once the campaign ends after the first 30 days or so, or 45 days, whatever you want to choose it then goes in demand, which is like a store. So it can stay in demand while you're getting everything built, everything printed, stuff like that.
So within like say with this book, because it's going to take like pretty much 6 months to produce it, that people could still order it within that 6 months till. Oh, I like that idea. That's great.
And they can order it after that 6 months. So let's say we're shipping out, people can still buy.
Once that book starts shipping, and once so we're getting our books in this week or early next week. They just shipped out. So today's already Wednesday. Either we get them Friday or probably next Monday. They'll come in.
So you're either you're printing in the U.S. or Canada. So.
Yeah, I print in the United States just because America.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But then
I don't want to give the Tricoms any of my money, or the Viet Congs, if you know what I'm saying, buddy.
But are you doing hardcovers, or what are you doing?
Hardcovers. Yep.
All right.
And so we're so that book will be in our office, at our offices, at our fulfillment center Monday, right? Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is. We're going to immediately start fulfilling. Once we start fulfilling, Nile comes down, we hang out. I show, we make videos of here's all the books, me signing the books. And then you're like, listen, this book is done. This book is ready to go. You pledge for this book. In a few weeks, you're going to have your book. You're not going to have to wait 6 months. I mean, of course, the people that get it first, they get their books first.
Yeah.
But it's better than waiting 6-7 months for your books. And a lot of campaigns, a lot of crowdfunding campaigns take a year to come out.
Yeah. Well, normally like my other books, like my little trade, these little trade books here, like the Gorgon and the Creature Feature books. These I do in either US or Canada. And these are like the little 48-pager perfect bound books,
Mm-hmm.
And I get these like it within a couple weeks. But then, doing these hardcovers, slipcase, just the tip and plate alone is going to probably take like 2 months because I got to get it printed. I got to sign him. I got to send him up the Nat. He's in Canada. Then it's got to go to Mark in Indiana. Then it's got to go to Jeff in New York. Yeah. Then it's got to come back to me. Then I got to ship it overseas so they can throw it in the book.
Yep. And another thing is also like what costs if you have a sewn in bookmark, which I think you said you did. Those
the ribbon.
Those got to be laid in by hand.
Yeah.
So someone's got to lay those all in by hand. So that all that stuff adds to the shipping process, and people get it. They're cool with it.
Yeah.
That I found people are cool because they know you're delivering a product that you love something that they're going to enjoy. There's a lot of, great quality behind it and all that. But then there are a lot of people that hold off. A lot of people do. And you'll get another spike. You'll see it. You'll get a spike.
Yes.
Once you start showing that you're fulfilling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making it pretty clear to everybody because like everybody's like, oh, I'll just wait. I'll just, I'll get it from Amazon. I'm like, no, it's not going to be on Amazon.
Yeah.
This is like the collector Kickstarter exclusive. We're only printing this thing once. Maybe down the line we'll do a soft cover or something, but this is it. So all the hardcore fans, I think that are coming on are realizing that, and then they're picking it up, and then again, like going back, usually the last week there's a big spike, right? So hopefully, we want to get at least that over that 65K, just so we can lock all those other.
You're going to. You will. Don't even.
Yeah.
Twice.
And your shipping rate is good too. I was looking at.
Man, you know how many people rip me a new asshole?
Yeah, but $15 for shipping.
Oh, well, that's US, right? So like going to Australia, it's 105. You know
what though?
That's not actually our fault though.
Whoa,
you can change that.
You're charging 15 for this. There are people that are selling a 12-page floppy comic book with 3 paper stretch goals and a sticker, charging $12.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
why are you doing that, Neff? Why are you doing that with your
ground shipping for the United States has really come a long way. It is like a day, maybe even a few hours, a couple of days at the most, later than priority. And it used to be like that was $8 and priority was like $12. Well, now priority's gone down to like $8, and then ground shipping has gone down to like $6.
Flat.
Well, or even when you use media mail,
so
you
use media mail.
You can't use media mail because you're over 2 pounds. You're over 2 pounds.
If you get caught, you're fucked.
Oh, for over 2 pounds, you can't use media. Are you sure? I've
never heard of the weight. What it is it's because it's a comic book, and they actually have.
The comic book doesn't have anything to do with it either.
It does.
It's the weight
it actually does.
They try to pull that shit, but that's not this isn't a comic book.
Oh, that's true.
Look at this, and this is a hardcover graphic novel. You then say we've gone through this, and
but there's a weight limit for media mail, like Neff is saying.
There is. Are you sure? Because I've shipped like 18-pound boxes of
media mail.
Yeah. Because like people that send books to libraries and stuff, like huge cartons and crates of them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've shipped because I would send
the data,
of books.
Let's pull up the data.
I
was with Neff. I thought there was like a 2-pound weight limit. That's why, doing comic books and, was okay, and not having, they can't have advertisements in them and stuff.
That's what,
I thought there was a 2-pound or some type of 2 or 5 pound weight limit.
No, I shipped like cases of books.
Now, I'd like to take a moment, if you guys don't mind, for a very small segue. You guys really nailed something here. Okay, Jay, picture it. Actually, Billy, like a one-shot side story here where people in Vietnam have decided that they want to build up their labor force, and they're going to start using the dead as their labor.
Well, we kind of there is a side story in this book that there's this kind of scientist guy, and then what he does.
Snap, I opened the door. Go for it, dude.
So he takes the zombies and he weaponizes them. Basically, that he loads them up with C4, and then he just basically pushes them out towards the enemy. And if their brainwaves go dead or whatever, he's got them hooked into their heads, that they self-explode. So they basically, they basically push these zombies out to go attack people, or the U.S. soldiers or whatever. And when they get close enough, or when the guys shoot them or whatever, they just basically explode right on them. So they do weaponize it. They do try to, like what you're saying, they kind of use them in different ways.
Well, and my thought actually was, when you were talking about this still being in Vietnam, is that after the war and everything, they're still clearing areas of mines. And that would be a great way to get rid of zombies and
just send them out and start doing manual,
Absolutely. So you had talked about so Billy talked about using Kickstarter and Indiegogo simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's really great. I love that idea, and he's correct. So
God, how much work is that? I mean, you got to be
lot of work.
juggling.
That's it's a lot of work.
It's like it's a lot of work, and it's called
Now,
dev.
Billy, when you're running that,
my wife does it all.
All right, you got your wife helping you, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right, I'm basically a one-man show here. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got somebody who's working it back and forth, or figuring all that stuff out, I mean, eventually, because in our house here, we have like 2 different garages that I'm converting one of them as like a shipping warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So as I get a little bit more money, I'm upgrading it, and that's going to be like, it's going to be like a Brian Polito setup, hopefully, not as streamlined, but the idea of everything's going to be in this one room, computers, everything set up there, and just do all because I plan on doing at least 2 Kickstarters a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. Where are you guys at? Are you doing like 1 or 2, or how many a year
This year with
3 to 4.
Yeah.
So Nicole, Cara, you're doing 4?
I do 3 to 4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 this year, 3 campaigns, but we do double. So we do Indiegogo and Kickstarter, so it's kind of like 6.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So what I had been doing is I'll do Kickstarter first. When I started putting things on crowdfunding, I went to Indiegogo first. And I will tell you, I went up a ton. I mean, I went from doing Indiegogo campaigns that were making like $3,000 to $10,000. However, this was starting around like 2013, Alfred, and there was less of a presence. Cosplay was less of a presence than it is. It was not the same animal as it is now. So I took those as very large wins. And then I moved over to Kickstarter, and boom, it like fucking tripled, excuse my language, but I was like, damn, because there was a Kickstarter culture at the time. So then it rolled into, you do the Kickstarter. So it's like, okay, I'll make like $50,000 here. And then my stuff's not even going out yet. Then what I'll do is I'll roll it over to Indiegogo. So Indiegogo, they will say, okay, they made this much money on another platform. And now it's essentially in demand. So you don't put a 30-day, 60-day, whatever, but you can still push people there. And what I would do with that is I get a domain. So I get a domain that is like firebitchcomic.com. And then during the Kickstarter, it goes there. And what that will also do is it'll trick the algorithms for a little bit on your social media. Facebook does not like sending people to anyone they feel is a competitor, and Kickstarter and Indiegogo are starting to bridge that gap. They're starting to get up there and get noticed. So by having your own domain, it kind of gives another like hiccup in the system to bypass that for a while. Then you're going to put your Indiegogo on that domain when your Kickstarter's over. So people aren't going to a dead page. You're going to roll it over to the Indiegogo, and that same link, because there's a 3-day delay from Instagram and Facebook from your computer to your phone. Have you noticed that? It's always 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 3 days ago. So you have to time the ending of your campaigns and your pushing of them to consider that. But if you roll it over and you have that domain, they will be able to click on that link and it'll take them right to the new campaign, and they can buy whatever they want.
This goes into my another question here. So buying advertising, or advertising your stuff through Facebook, or whatever. So, and this has kind of been a debate with all the other guys that I work with, going like, how much do we spend? Does it really work? If everybody, you get all the creators involved, and you go, listen, you guys need to hit the ground running, and we're all just shooting out in our own directions, plowing, hitting up, anybody that we can hit up to spread the word out. That I find that like that way, I think can cover more ground than spending the money. I don't know. Do you guys spend money on advertising?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, we have, and it's not that much money though, right? Is it like $50 or something here or there?
Well, yeah.
And take into consideration, if they don't buy from you, they might be new fans who will buy from you later.
Okay. Because like
So-
normally what I'll do is like, because if we have a 4-week campaign, 30 days, I'll run like a $50 ad every week and let it run throughout the week.
Yes.
But
it's a matter of harnessing your ads to the right place, though. And just, I mean, Jay, you know this, Billy, we all know this. But for those of you out there that don't, you don't just pay for an ad. You go in and you tailor it. People that like comic books, people that like superheroes, people that already follow you. Because now, Jay, you talked about, is it better to have everybody on the team push it out? Well, that depends. Are they banned because they said something stupid? Are they shadow banned because they posted something dumb? Did they get in trouble for something? What does their feed look like? How often are they on? And just posting, hey, go check out my new book, and then putting the link in there, nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to respond. Are they willing to sit there and make sure that, first of all, those posts are public?
Yeah.
Secondly, that there is a great image that has no words on it. There is a way. I know Neff's going to be like, because he's like the technical guy, he's the smart dude.
Yeah.
And that's,
he's the professor.
Good, but dude, these are, people aren't there yet, man. They're not there for what you got. So if you have text on there, then the algorithms will not push it out. You need to get maximum, maximum eyes on what you're doing. Yeah. If you tag a bunch of people, they'll hate that. And my God, for the love of all things, everything out there, do not ever copy and paste a link that goes to Facebook, even if it's yours. If you post your link on Facebook and then someone else goes and copies that link and pastes it to their page, it comes out like a CVS receipt.
Yeah.
You always have to go to the original source, the Kickstarter, and make sure they know that. Because people don't know this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Neff, you're, Cara said you're more the technical guy on this kind of stuff. So what's your input on doing ads or,
As far as ads, I mean, marketing is probably the most important thing. And you already know what your market is.
Yeah.
You're already very clever in the way that you show up at conventions. So you know exactly who you're targeting. Like, holding up the book and going, hey, look, and having them instantly buy it because it's right up their alley. You're already hitting the horror fans. You're already running your ads where you need to run them. The only reason that I brought up Taboola is because instead of like Facebook, where it's you drop $50 and Facebook runs an ad, Taboola is a service that allows you to tailor it a little bit more. You can pay on a sliding scale for your interactions and how often it runs the ad. You can set your marketing budget.
Now that's done outside of Facebook, or how does that work?
I'm not familiar with that either.
Yeah, Taboola, Taboola. It's the advertising. Yeah, it's an advertising service. It's done.
So what? So you like PayPal? This is my budget, and then this is the link to whatever my thing is.
Yeah, if you go there,
they're the ones
process.
that blanket. Yeah, all the social media.
It's like a service.
Okay.
It's how you set up your the way that you're running your ads. It's like a third party system.
All right, now this segues right into another thing now. So, and I'm sure you guys know this as well, and how bad it's been getting about the solicitors on, hey, we can help you.
Oh yeah, those are all.
Oh my God,
that's all like
the Nigerian princes on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, well, just the solicitors from Kickstarter saying, hey, I saw your thing, we can help you, the blah blah blah. And I at least 40 on like the first day, like I just get onslaughted with all these people that are like, hey, we can help you, this, or we can help you do that. Have any of you guys worked with any of these type of people?
You don't need those people. And when you get those are bots, they're scams.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, because I'll do twice a week. I do I'll call them like the big drops on like X or whatever, and it's where everyone can put their links in. I use one of them on Friday to find my guests for the Monday show when we were able to do the Monday show. And even when I do that, it's just like say Neff throws his campaign up there, all of a sudden something comments like, hey, campaign look amazing, bro, I could totally help you. And it's all broken like English. It doesn't work out.
And you don't be like, hey, you want to help me? Please pledge for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
I
that's
prefer the
big
ones that
moment.
pop up that say like nudes in bio, you know, like at least that I'm like, oh, well, you know, maybe we have
Well, some
common
of them
ground.
do seem legit in a way, but
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of that bot stuff that you're talking about. That you
No
can,
one needs to hire anyone.
yeah,
to
that's
do
what I figured. Because like
crowdfunding.
I did go down that rabbit hole a little bit and started looking to go, all right, well, who is this guy? And then I'll look into like where he's at. I'm like, I got more followers than him. I don't need
Yeah,
you.
they have like
you know?
three.
Yeah.
They have like 3 followers, and they're following like 10.
Yeah.
You know, and all these people. It's like you know, it's like a real estate agent photo or something. It doesn't all you don't if you want to get into crowdfunding, you just have to honestly watch channels like Pop XP, reach out to other creators. If you're super successful in crowdfunding, that's when you hire people to help create your campaigns and kind of manage the back end of stuff so you can be out there promoting and doing things. You know,
Yeah.
Billy and Deb work together. Deb handles the back end. Billy's at the storefront. You know, he's on the soapbox selling the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the same with Neff and his wife, you know, and how they work and you know, Cara and Alfred and how they do their stuff. So no one needs a service. It's all a scam.
Yeah.
There are legit
Yeah.
people out there that you can pay and they'll tell you how to run your campaign, but you can get that information free. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
from
stuff
fellow
that
comic creators.
It's all about growth. You know, YouTube is an incredible platform for growing your brand because when you get on there, say even if you just went on there and you were doing some digital coloring, some drawing, you know, just working on the process of books and just talking with the fans, they get to know you because crowdfunding is an investment. They're investors in your business. They're your business partners. Every customer is a business partner.
yeah, that's
when you
exactly. I mean,
Yeah. So
I
when
don't
you
mean to
start
cut you
letting
off.
them into your world, it becomes personal. Now it's like they feel like they're your friend, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
grow this community, and that is the biggest selling point because
Yeah, and
Facebook.
that's exactly what because I teach at Phoenix College here. They have a
Mhm.
comics art degree program there, and I teach 3 different classes, and one of them is called comics creation. And one of my big selling points is that you need to like get your social media presence out there, and then like because we're working on projects that at the end of the semester the students all have like a printed book. So I'm like, listen, why don't you post all the stuff that you're doing along the way as you're going? Because then all these people that are following you are, and then when you have a final printed finished piece that you want to sell or whatever, they've been watching you do this process the whole way and they want to support you. And then they go boom. But it's not like, because they all go like, well, I want to get it done and then I'm going to promote it. I'm like, no, show everybody your process. Show them what you're doing.
Invested, and I love that you brought that up. So actually, really quick, but you remember when I said don't pull links from Facebook? So Jay, I went to your page because we're friends on Facebook, and I found your Kickstarter, the small link, and I right-clicked it and I said copy link address, and then I pasted it in the chat. I want you to take a look at this. Ta-da! Look at that ridiculous friggin' thing. Come on.
That's what happened. That's what happens if you copy and paste the abbreviated link.
Yeah.
But another
don't do that because it's what it's going to do is it's taking them through Facebook.
Yeah.
So the Facebook gets the hit for it going to your Kickstarter, and it's also annoying and looks like crap.
Yeah.
Another thing too, though, and I know we touched base on, you know, we were talking about the marketing of it in posting. You know, so how Facebook, you know, if you pay for ads on Facebook, Instagram, X, even if you pay for the promotional stuff on YouTube to promote your channels, what they do is the way the system, and I know people that can validate this at YouTube. I know people at Facebook that can validate this, people that actually work there, is how those systems work is when you post and we put the links in there, they purposely are like the post is basically shadow banned. It's very limited. And now what they're starting to do too is you could bypass that by doing your post up and saying link in the comments.
Yeah, that's
you
what
will
I've been
get
doing.
more views of your stuff. But what will happen is, have you noticed that you're getting likes on that post 3, 4, 5, 6 days after it picks up?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because they're delaying those.
Yeah.
They want you, and then what will happen is they'll send you a preview of that post as an ad. And what they'll do is they will they'll push whatever they say they're going to do at the dollar amount you set. But if you maintain that, right, like just $50 a week, they dial it back. So you look like, oh wow, you know, when I look at the analytics of it, less people are seeing it. I'm going to pay more.
Yeah.
And so that's actually how the system works. YouTube does the same thing. If you pay to promote your channel, because they'll say, you know, you pay, if you go on there right now, it automatically puts in $200. It says that they will get you 2,000 new subscribers within your budget and time frame. And if you keep doing that, they'll do it. And then what'll happen is it'll diet down so that you spend more. And it purposely does that. But the problem is the money you're spending won't give you the return. So it's a horrible investment paying for those ads. And what Neff was saying with that other platform, that platform kind of bypasses those algorithms the way they feed it into social. So you probably will get better results than natively posting them and trying to beat the algorithm yourself.
Neff, do me a favor, send me a link or
Yeah.
on our private thing there so I can copy
it'll
that.
also give you the benefit of not having to run exclusively through socials, because it'll find places to provide advertisement and click through in like articles and other spots online that aren't specifically social media networks. And that's one of the cool things about selecting the services on the sliding scale.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, because now my philosophy is, because I was doing one weekly, right? Now I am just going to do one at the beginning and one at like the last week. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, are you seeing any traffic actually coming from it?
It's hard to say.
Where in Kickstarter, I believe, can't you see where the links are coming? You can see where the traffic comes from.
The affiliates.
Yeah, the affiliates.
Yeah.
I think Facebook ads are just kind of a dead end, in my opinion.
You know what, though? I think that everybody has what works for them. Some people get really good feed by posting. I will say that you can do all the advertising in the world, but your best way to get long-term, dedicated, you know, fans that really believe in you and really believe in your work is to put your authentic self out there.
Yeah.
Be organic. Like, let's put the ads and all that shit aside. You can have all the ads in the world, but if you suck, it doesn't matter. Those people will never back you, follow you, believe in you. So I find that people a lot of times are really afraid to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
So wear a mask, right? You see a lot of this people talking about wearing a mask, and I'm like, why are you wearing such an ugly mask?
Yeah.
Unless you can mask to look better than you, recognize that you being you is what you put into your work, and you being you is what's going to make that connection. Because if you're walled off, you can't connect with them and they can't connect with you.
Yeah.
And
I
you
agree
will
100%.
find that, and you'll find that you believe in them, that they will believe in themselves and allow themselves to believe in you too. We'll grow together.
But look at Brian. Look, you know, and the people will follow you, dude, because you've got an amazing product. You've got a proven product. And your fans will follow you. You give them good stuff and you deliver.
That's why I think, you know, I mean, again, I'm on my 7th campaign here that I'm like, eventually, you know, you get your stuff out on time. You get to the people when you say you're going to get it to them. You put out quality product that, we have a lot of return guys, you know. I'm still trying to get over this one little hump of like, all right, I need to get my numbers up. What am I doing? You know,
all right. I'm going to tell you right now, you are in that slump. You got 10 days left. This goes for all creators. You will have a bump in the beginning and a bump at the end.
No. I know all that. I know that what I'm talking about is like campaign wise, you know, from my first campaign to where I am now. It's kind of like it hasn't progressed, and maybe I'm just being like,
no, it's everybody.
Okay.
It's everybody. Yeah. My last campaign was lower and I ran it like shit, honestly. I was, you know, late. I had printer issues. I put it out too late. I fucked it up in my own right, but it was definitely the economy. So everyone's on a little bit of a dump right now.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing though, like I know Cara was saying, like to put your organic self out there and all that. I don't know if you really do that. I did that. I put my organic self out there. I was real. I was open, and no
And
one
now you're a
subscribed to
registered
my
sex
OnlyFans, and I think it's BS. You know, I gave my full organic self, and like nothing happened. So I don't know if that's the route to go.
Well, I agree with Cara. I mean, because that's what I teach my students is that yes, because all of my students are really, you know, the recluses, and I can barely, you know, when I'm talking to them, you know, I'm asking them to stand up and talk to the class because you guys need to practice how to speak to people. You know, you need to know, especially, and I teach them about going to conventions and all this kind of stuff. And I said, listen, you gotta know how to talk to people. You got to know, and people walking up and they're looking at your stuff and they're somewhat interested. You got their attention. Now you need to like engage, you know. And a lot of these kids nowadays are so, you know, in their phones and, you know, they're not used to that. So I'm trying to break them out of their shell. And that's what I kind of say about like, hey, use the projects that you're working on right now. Post, because a lot of these kids are creating projects that are going to be moved into finishing a comic book. Case in point, one of my students, we just did Arizona, whatchamacallit, at the Shrine. It was a convention here. Two of my students are there, and then they both have comic books, you know, and they're out there doing it, you know. So, and telling them like you need to work on getting out there and talking to people and that whole process, you know, because again, a lot of these kids are so secluded, and you know, like all of us, we are in our little caves, not talking to anybody and just doing our own thing. And then you know, I mean, I guess coming from the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, we tend to have big mouths anyway. So it's not that hard of a thing for me. But a lot of these kids that I know that are, you know, they're just having a hard time doing that, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, having a network though of creators that are
Oh, yeah.
crowdfunding and working together to promote each other. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, it
that
doesn't
aren't just,
hurt.
you know, just having them, you know, going together. And, you know, that's another thing. You know, Billy does it, right? You know, Monday nights he's on with a bunch of creators and they're all chatting, talking, promoting each other's work. Tuesday night he's on with another group of creators, all chatting, talking. Everyone's promoting each other's work. I mean, we do it here on Pop XP, bringing creator on. Neff does it on his channel. Cara does it with creators, you know. And what it is everyone's merging their fan base. Then you're building fan base, because if everyone has really cool chemistry and you guys are just talking about life events, comics, movies, whatever's going on, or just, you know, just silly shit, then, you know, that brings in more fans, and people see the streams like, wow, these guys are funny. Oh, these guys make comics. Oh, what's this? Oh, let me check it out. And you know,
it doesn't,
there's
like,
a magnitude, man, but it's time and it's investment, and it's on top of everything else that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, like what you said, it doesn't hurt to bug your buddies too. You know, like case in point, like, hey, Joe Hill, Gabe Rodriguez, do me a favor, you know, and then do it, and then I see, oh boy, I just had a spike, you know, so they help me out.
Or hey, can you send this out in one of your updates on Kickstarter for you know, guys and gals to check out your campaign?
But I also reach
out to Todd McFarlane and be like, hey, I worked for you.
He wouldn't.
You like me. Promote me.
I would love
You'd
to.
be nothing without Jay.
Yeah. No, he but I get it, because it's like, you know, it can be a nuisance in a way, because a lot of us are doing this, right? You know, so a lot of us are constantly hitting up our buddies, or, you know, and I make it a joke every time I run a campaign, is just like, hey, get used to this face. I'm, you know, I'm about to, you know, be a real big pain in the ass for the next month, you know. So I try to find a good balance between being annoying and like too pushy, and just and then contacting whoever my buddies are and just say, hey man, I got a new campaign, you know, if you can help me out, and you know, and vice versa. You know, it's the same thing if anybody hits me up. I'm like, yeah, of course, you know. So
well, it's the way you got to sell the book.
You got to do it. You got to sell it. You got to.
You got to be in everyone's face. You got to be annoying. You know, and you got to get as many allies out there that can help you spread the word. Because look, comic shops are dying. Mainstream publishers blow. You know, it's not what it used to be, right? I mean, really, the golden age of comics right now is in indie comics, self-publishing. There's no editors, there's no corporations over your shoulders saying you can't have this, you can't have that, you have to include this, you have to include that, you have to have this agenda, you have to have that.
Yep.
You don't have to do any of that.
And
So the thing is
Yeah.
just crowdfunding, self-publishing, and as you know, that's why Kickstarter is growing. You know,
Yeah.
Indiegogo is I don't know, it's a bucket of bolts. It used to be
It's
good.
a
I don't
can
think
of
that's
worms.
great anymore.
It's-
You know, it's a hit or miss.
Okay.
If you have a big fan base and you go to Indiegogo, you'll get something. But a lot of there's just not the traffic. Honestly, you know, the Fund My Comics started, which is a growing platform. But again, the culture's at Kickstarter. They have the name brand, they have the recognition. You know, Zoop's out there
Zoop,
too.
yeah.
But again, Zoop's
Crowdfunding.
funding
Zoop, I'm not
now.
hearing very good things about, but
It's
It's curated. That's the problem.
Yeah,
with it.
it's curated, and I think they're struggling. They're crowdfunding for financial backers to stay open. You know, really, ultimately, Kickstarter is the best because they have the culture, they have the eyes, and that you know, you could be successful there. And the key is, you know, Kickstarter's not going to make the money for you. They're giving you the platform, they're giving you the podium, and their site will bring in eyes, but ultimately it's on you.
Oh yeah.
It's not on them. So, you know, that's what it's about. It's cultivating this new form of sales in comics, of networking with one another, creating, you know, it's really just building community, right? You have indie community, it's getting exposure in that indie community, and it's finding the people that you know that have a decent exposure in that community, and then sailing your ship along theirs, you know, and in hopes to grow the brand that you're building. And then their fans may buy your stuff, your fans may buy their stuff, and it's a harmonious engagement in sharing, you know.
Yeah. It's a lot of work though.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Well, that's you know what? If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. And I think another thing too is we need to convince comic shops to have faith in the indie creators, and we need you know, there needs to be a portal for them to get their books into these shops.
That kind of transitioned into another question here, because I've been running all these campaigns or whatever, and then I'll have a couple of other guys I'm working with, and then they're going, oh, well, how come we don't offer, you know, a tier for, you know, retailers? And I'm like, you know, I've kind of looked into that, and I haven't seen any push for that. I haven't seen like other guys that do it. I like see like only like one person backed it. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
seems to be the key. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
you know,
retailer packages don't really sell.
yeah.
You know, I'll see like one or two, you know, at most.
I'm
I know-
guessing it's just because the retailers just don't even know about it. You know what I mean?
They probably
So,
don't know about it, but I think for the retailers, they're already struggling
Yeah,
to sell the books they have to buy.
yeah,
And for them to take a gamble on an indie book that isn't out yet,
yeah.
you know, again, you're not working with a popular IP where, you know, you've got this, you know, 17 different Spider-Mans and 32 X-Men's that they have to buy, which
Yeah.
aren't out yet, but they know that they're promising IPs or they deliver. So it's about getting those books. It's about building the trust. There almost needs to be like an indie creator summit where, you know, indie creators can just talk to retailers and get them to buy their
Yeah,
books.
there's definitely a gap now between what we're
That's a
doing.
great idea, Niall.
Cara,
that
if
is.
I had the ability, I could turn this whole thing
What's that? The
around,
Comics
and
Pro?
comics would be
What's
big
that?
again, and creators would be rock stars with, you know, New York City would be closing down Times Square, you know, for you know, Neff to get his book signed.
Heck yeah.
What's that? What is that? The Comics Pro convention?
That's for retailers primarily through Diamond.
Through
Yeah,
Diamond,
all right.
Diamond
So
Summit
they need
stuff?
something like. I mean, I'm guessing we're kind of moving that direction, right? Because
No.
we're gonna need. Well, no. What you just said is
Yeah.
that we need something that bridges the gap between what we're doing and retailers, right? So, do we need a summit or a comic, you know, retail Kickstarter convention or some? I don't know. Or how do you? How can you bridge that gap? I don't know, but
Yeah, again, the confidence has to be there, and
Yeah.
it's not there, unfortunately. It never really has been.
Yeah.
It never really has been. So unless, you know, Diamond and them, you know, we've spoken to the Jeppies and they love indie comics.
Yeah.
You know, they would love to have a way to get books in there, but you know, again, it also goes on the creators and how much they can afford, how much can they get printed up, how can they get it out. You know, they actually have to change and create a whole new category, because in order to be in Diamond, you have to, you know, be a publisher.
Yeah.
You have to have X amount of titles. You know, you have to have X amount of issues. You have to be able to deliver. If they're not a one-stop shop, like you can't just say, all right, for today, I'm going to put my book through Diamond. Like they want a more established publisher in. So, you know, whatever. What do you think about UFOs?
What would maybe be a neat idea is that, like, if Kickstarter had their own like retailer section, that guys like us, that at the end of the Kickstarters, they just basically put their stuff in this kind of warehouse that's in Kickstarter, and then people can then retailer can just order straight through them, I guess.
I think you could then just go through Diamond, I think.
Yeah, at that point, you would just go through like Diamond or another distributor. Yeah.
I don't think they got the money to
but Diamond, you gotta send your product to them, and then they're the one who's shipping it out, right?
Yeah. So that's and there's a different price point. So we're actually doing that. Jay, is that we're going we're starting in Diamond. Starting in April.
Oh, you are?
This
Okay.
month. Yeah. So or May, I think. So we start with Diamond Comic Distributors with our books. So we're now taking those books. We're breaking them down into singles on more inexpensive, on more affordable paper. And we're breaking those 48, 64, 72 page graphic novels down into, 2-3 issues.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep. And we'll see how it works.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually where we're looking to go. We're going to probably pitch to a few places. And then if that doesn't work, we're taking our first story arc, breaking it from 3 oversized issues to 6 issues, possibly throwing a special in there.
So you guys are kind of pretty much reverse engineering it. You think that's going to work?
Well, it has to. You got to remember, the comic book stores, they can't sell the book for what Kickstarter is selling them for. When we sell them on Kickstarter, these are now collector's items. These are now art pieces. And what you're getting at the comic book store is the stuff you put in your magazine rack next to the toilet, you know? So they're not going to pay for it. Yes, we have to send our shit to Diamond, but then Diamond only has to pay one shipping cost to each store, as opposed to the store paying for shipping from each individual creator. So your price point is completely different. When you're going through Diamond, it's getting to all the retailers and not just you going from store to store to store to store to store, and they're buying like 2 copies, and they have this idea that they have to pay half of what you sell it for, which is a lot more than what they'd pay through Diamond. The part about Diamond where you're screwed is that you're the one that gets paid basically nothing for your own product. But you're trading that for the exposure. And as we all know from the Oregon Trail, you will die from exposure. And that's why we're artists.
I remember the Oregon Trail as a little video game, and I liked shooting the little buffaloes on like that Mac 2 computer or whatever it was, Apple 2.
Oh, hey, this might be some cool fun facts. Jay, especially, you're going to love this. Maybe y'all knew it and I didn't, but Abraham Lincoln was invited to go on the Donner Party excursion.
I didn't
really
know that.
I used to live there.
Well, they didn't go because his wife was pregnant. She was like, I'm not walking that shit all pregnant. Hell no. And then he got shot in the theater anyway. So on the one hand, if he had gone, then he was a big dude. That's a lot of, he would have fed a lot of people.
He was skin and bones. He was skin and bones.
Yeah, that's true. But you got to suck the marrow.
He was a tough guy too.
Suck the marrow out of him.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he was destined to die either way.
All right.
Well, Bun Sauce wants us to talk about UFOs. He says, this is boring. You should talk about UFOs. This is education, Bun Sauce. Education here for the crowdfunding people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen UFOs. I have. Have you guys seen UFOs?
I've
Oh, yeah.
seen UFOs.
I was here for the Phoenix lights, but I guess it like kind of passed right over my head, and then I didn't see it. But I have all my buddies going like, "Yeah, I saw it. Just flew right over my head. This giant spaceship." And I'm like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like,
Did they
I
actually
was-
see like a because everyone saw the lights, right? You saw the lights, but did anyone actually see the body of the ship?
Yeah, well, there's two sightings, I guess, right? There's the one with the lights, then there's this other massive ship that kind of flew over the city that wasn't that. And again, a few of my friends have actually witnessed it, that they said they felt the heat coming off of it, that it was, and it just kind of floated on by, didn't make any noise, and it was gone. This big black thing, whatever. But then we got the, the fire in the sky guy, up
Yeah.
in, or Payson over there. So every time we go up there to get out of the city or whatever, his shit's all over the place, and you can go to the phone booth where he made the phone call and all that shit. That's like right up there.
That's
This
cool.
is
Where'd you
crazy.
see your UFO, Billy? I saw mine in upstate New York.
All right, describe your UFO. Let's talk about this because I'm very curious about all this.
The house in upstate New York in the Adirondack Mountains, there's no light pollution. Like you can see like the Milky Way, you can see everything. And so we got this big wraparound porch deck thing, and I got my telescope up there, and it's a little hobby of mine. And we were just chilling out there, just laying in the chair watching, and you can see satellites. Like you can see satellites.
Yeah, you can see them here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we saw this like weird light. It was like a weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like, it was like changing colors, and it was moving, and it was coming across, and then it just did the stereotypical over, and then it did like a complete 90, then it looped around, then it went and did like a 45 and over here, and then just boom. Like it was like literally it flashed and went.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit. Like went up. Like it went out the atmosphere. And I was like, holy you can't really see. I got my goosebumps right now thinking
so
about it.
was it just a light, or did you actually see like an actual shape to this thing?
So it was like a ball of light, right?
Okay.
There was light, it was illuminating with a light, but it was like changing colors. Like it would be like white and yellows and oranges, and it stayed like within the realm of yellow, orange, red. At one point it looked like a hint of green. And geez, I was I think this was my senior year in high school, and I went up there with my girlfriend at the time, went for the weekend, and she was there with me, and we're watching this. She was like, holy shit, what was that? Like, it was incredible. What about you, Tooch?
Yeah, I saw a couple of them. First one I saw, I was at a drive-in theater, and it went across, and it almost was like a bird. It was at night, but it was lights, but it was moving like a bird almost, and it was going across, and then it made a right turn and shot out. Right. Saw that again when I was in Arizona. New Mexico, out not far from Roswell, where I was hunting out there. The same exact thing. It went right across, boom, bam, and like that, and took off. Then I was flying in a plane over the English Channel, or going into France, flying into Paris, and just looking out the window, and a silver orb that had to be, I don't know, maybe 2 feet around, flew right past our window, right outside the wing.
Wow.
Like this. It was almost like standing still, and we flew past.
So is it like what do they call that? The Tic Tac, or the UFO that the government is saying that they look like Tic Tacs?
This looked like
it
looked like a ball. It didn't look like a Tic Tac. It actually looked like a round silver ball.
Huh.
It's like a sphere.
And I'm like, whoa, like that. And I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't drunk, nothing.
Huh.
And then I saw the Starlight satellite in the fall. I was like, what the fuck is that? But I'm looking at these Phoenix lights, and that's crazy. I want to share this shit. Hang on.
I was in Tempe when this happened, but I don't remember like going like, holy shit, I need to go outside and look at it.
Well, here we go. Like I said, what the hell is this? So I'll go big with it.
Well, that's
a little different. That one's
that's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different. This is April. Wait, well, it said
No, the Phoenix lights were 97.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it says 97. So it's
Oh,
showing
wait, go back.
97, and then it shows 2000. See, this is 97. Hang on, where's the date?
Is that an alien?
This is 97. Yes, she looks like an alien. She's weird.
And I did capture video of formations of these lights or actual craft arranged in a V or triangle. We're talking mile to 8 miles.
Okay, so that's then, and then this, I guess this is still 98.
All right.
Reportedly hovered above Phoenix for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Before it finally disappeared over the horizon.
They just like
Phoenix
faded
Lights
out though,
incident
didn't they?
made headlines across the country.
Well,
Many
the
eyewitnesses
the
looking-
second one that what I was talking
To date?
about was huge. It was like size of a battleship size,
Wow.
and that's how
What?
they described it. It was that big, and it moved really slow, and it was just black, and it was like really, it was clear out, so it was just moving across the sky, and you could see, you see the stars around it, but this black mass, moving in front of the stars, you know what I mean? So that's how they described it, with just a few lights on it. But
Well, this is the one. This is now this is in Tucson in 2022.
yeah, I didn't hear anything about that one.
So that's that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's our UFO segment.
That's our
There you
UFO segment.
Has anyone seen a ghost?
No.
What?
That's cool, man. Well, hey Jay, thanks for hanging
Yeah.
out with us, dude. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
Um,
guys.
Yeah,
Anytime you want to come on, buddy, and talk about this stuff, talk about your books. If you want to go to Indiegogo and you launch that campaign, and you can pretty much copy. Once your Kickstarter's done, you can focus on that Indiegogo. Either put it in demand or actually launch it as, say, a 2-week, 30-day campaign.
Yeah, I mean, eventually when I get myself really fine-tuned and going like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Right now I'm still in that growing phase of like just getting my shipping department straightened out, So
Right
as I
on.
make a little bit of money, and then as I tell everybody, I'm like, as a freelance artist, it's just like, I live within my means and I spend within my means. So if I make a little bit of money and I can spend a little money, I'll do it, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to dump all my money into something and just like, I'm just going to kind of grow with it,
Here,
so,
here.
That's awesome.
so
Man.
Awesome.
Cara, Neff, you got anything else for Jay?
For Jay, no, but
you. I do want to know. Are you? You're going to be at Phoenix Comic Con, right?
oh yeah, been doing
Are
that
you
over
do-
20 years. Yeah.
Are you doing the horror show in October again?
I know I'm doing Mad Monster, and then there's what's the
Are you doing Artist Assemble?
no, I haven't asked, what's her name who runs
Bianca.
that?
Bianca.
Yes, I got to
Yeah.
contact her and see if I'm welcome back or not. But when is that?
I don't know, October or something.
All right. No, I'm sure,
Mm,
if she has me
like
back,
the-
I would definitely go.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I do Tucson, and then
Oh yeah, that's the one. Is it? Who else is going to Tucson? Billy?
No, I went last year.
Okay.
And
Tucson's
it
a
was
great show.
show. It's a great con.
Great show.
Yeah. So I'll be there. I'll be in Tucson.
Cool.
What about you guys? You doing any shows coming up?
yep.
Doing
Neff, all right, where?
We have a bunch on the East Coast, but we're also doing San Diego, LA. We were gonna do CTV
Yeah, I do
too,
LA. I
but,
started doing LA Con for the past 3 years now, and I've been doing pretty well with it. How are you doing there?
this is gonna be our first year there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Like we just decided to like open up our like convention appearances to anywhere that isn't directly the East Coast. So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing Dallas. We're going to be doing the other fan expos.
Oh, nice.
We're trying to like get to the West Coast, like journey outside of our local.
Do you
little
guys
bubble, but there are a lot.
anybody here do San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it this year.
Okay. I kind of gave up on it years ago. I went there like when we first put out Death Dealer back in 07, I think, or yeah. And we were the #1 book at Image Comics. We're like, okay, well, I guess we should do San Diego, right?
Yeah.
And we got a table at the Image. Image had their own section, and we got a table through them. And I think I went home with $70.
Yeah, that was a tough. Those were tough times, man. 2006, 2005, 2000 to 2008. They were tough times over there.
Yeah, I mean, not about sales, but just food, hotel, getting around, and just the cost of everything there was just overwhelming. That we didn't make any money. So it's like, I mean, I've been there a handful of times as a guest, for Lock and Key stuff or whatever. And I would just come in and out, but I wasn't there trying to make any money. It was just more of just doing signings or whatever. But I'm like, I haven't had any good opportunities to want to go back there because just wasn't making any money. I mean, LA Con I would do really well at. Phoenix, obviously, yeah. Tucson do great. El Paso, Albuquerque. What are some other ones? Vegas. I usually stay within like a 6-hour radius.
Yeah.
That I can drive to. There's a few shows that I've flown to, but if they're not like taking care of my airfare, hotel, and give me my booth space, it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's a business. That's you got to look at it.
Yeah.
Because we're all not multimillionaires that we could, do that kind of thing. Throw money at it.
Yeah.
Throw money.
They are lucrative
in our companies.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this is something I tell my students as well. Is that like conventions are very lucrative. You just need to know your spot, and and find what works for you, and that's a big part of my income is doing conventions.
Well, getting your stuff to and from places, especially with your setup and your booth, all of the props and
I don't do that for all of them, right? I only kind of do them for like Phoenix or Tucson.
Ones, yep.
Like for
your
LA or
that creepy eye.
The what?
That your banner is that creepy eye, and I can't stop looking at it. But it's
the maggots.
It's
like
yes, my pop up is just that big eyeball.
Yeah,
which I think is great because you can see it pretty much across the room, going like there's a big eye staring at me. What I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it works that way, and that's another thing I tell my students. Like, when you do a pop up, keep it simple. So somebody can kind of see it from across the room and go, "Oh, there he is." That kind of thing.
Do not put your information at the bottom of your pop-up.
That's true.
Because that part is hidden by your table. Put that on the top of your banner. Yeah.
But no, that's a big thing I tell my students, and a few of them now are getting into doing shows and doing well. And I say you're lucky to make a couple bucks on top of it, or like the last show that we did, one of them was there. She didn't have the money for even a pop up, right? So she's like, I made like $75. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, put it towards the pop up now, and then the next show, and just kind of add stuff to it, and kind of get yourself situated in that area, But yeah, I mean, conventions are a huge part of what we do nowadays,
Oh,
and when you fly with your pop-up, I learned this from Bill McKay. You can take 2 of them, tape them together, and now it's one carry-on.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Good old Bill McKay.
Good old Bill McKay.
Good old Bill McKay. Neff, you got anything left before we take off?
I was just gonna type out something to Bun Sauce. If it's about UFOs, I've been reading Blue Book from Dark Horse. It's by Tinian. It's I don't know which episode or which issue is issue number 1 and which one's 2. I can't tell without my glasses.
Is it Dark Horse putting that out?
Yes. Okay. Dark Horse and Tinian launched his new company, Tiny Onion. It's a packaging company. Like they package the IP and they send it to publishers and producers, including people who are going to be optioning rights and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So the way like he packages the IP together, develops and stuff like that. It's mostly his own stuff that he's involved in now, but he's also going to be making it available to other people who are bringing in their IPs directly to him. But the reason I'm bringing it up is Blue Book 1947 is fantastic UFO fiction.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's done historically. It's presented historically through historical accounts of the people who are witnessing the UFO. It's like the history of how UFOs were witnessed across the USA and how they were first reported to the papers, who was the first UFO guy, like the guy who would go investigate other people's claims. I just thought that Bunsauce might want to know, the intersection of comics and UFOs right now. It is on the stands. You can go pick it up, and I've been enjoying it.
Cool.
That is awesome. Have you guys?
But you know what I want to
reviewed- have
ask you
reviewed it?
guys? I want to ask you East Coast guys. If you've been out to Arizona or Phoenix, Metro Phoenix is a mecca for comic book stores, creators across the board, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I call us the Hollywood for comic book people.
yeah, I mean, because
That's how I describe us.
I mean, how many comic book stores are in Metro Phoenix? At least
Oh my God.
25.
We have chains.
Yeah, there's at least 25.
Yeah, we have chains too.
Yeah.
And we've got everybody right here. We've got 3 like big comic book printers.
Yeah.
Here in the Valley, Hero and Villain, Artist Express, and Ready Comics.
Yeah.
And that's just the comic book special people.
Yeah.
We've got, McFarlane's here, you're here,
Polito.
Brian Polito's here, and DeBalfo's here. DeBalfo lives right up the road from me.
Yeah.
Me and you are across town from each other. Tone lived here for a while.
Yeah. So,
There's,
but
like,
I want to say, like,
Oh,
East
look at
Coast
you
guys.
Oh, look at you guys.
Well, what I want to ask. Well,
Yeah,
I'm not tooting our own horn here, but what I want to ask is
We have
like,
a guy he's got a 97 Buick Park Avenue. He pops the trunk and we get our comics out of it.
well, I got to ask, with you guys, I mean, is it because I go back east and there's none. I mean, in Jersey, if I go to Jersey, I can count like on one hand within like probably 100-mile radius that there's a comic book shop.
Yeah.
So I mean, Billy, you're out in Long Island, right?
Yep.
Now, how many shops you got out by you?
I don't know. There's a sizable amount. There is.
Oh, there are?
It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Yeah, we've got in Connecticut. I mean, we're a small state, but Neff, what do we have? Like 10, 12?
I honestly don't know because the one near me has closed and I don't really go more than 20 miles from my house.
Well,
Okay.
and
And
are they
Hero's Legacy.
There's at least 12 open comic shops here in Connecticut.
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
are they active? Are they doing things? Because Jay and I have done, if you think about it, we've done just as many like store events.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
store events. They
as
do.
we have, like conventions together.
Yeah.
The popular stores here, the ones that do good business, they bring artists in for signings and things and stuff like that. They're not as big though. Like if you go, obviously, like the comic shops in the city, because we're considered the tri-state area too. So you talk about New York City. I mean, you've got Midtown Comics. I mean, you've got a bunch of really great comic shops.
I'm a
in New York
Forbidden
City and
Planet
stuff.
guy.
Forbidden Planet. There's just
I used to be
a lot of
Cineplex,
great
then
shops. I
closed.
do think like out your way, there's more. There's more, and I know Adam Lawson, who does the reviews with Neff, the comic book reviews on the channel and on their own channel stuff too. He's been doing comic shop tours, and he's out in LA. And I mean, there's just some mind blowing shops out there.
Mm.
That might not be a bad idea to like go to some of the local spots and be like, hey, can we, take a tour of your shop and try and do, because we're all over the US.
It's a great idea.
It might be
That
interesting to
is-
go. We're talking
I
about
wrote that down today,
developing-
Neff.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my little diary.
Yeah, I'm not reading your diary, I swear.
Nile and
But
Neff,
yeah.
touring
Yeah.
comic shops.
Well, Adam's the
touring
one doing it,
comic
right?
shops.
But that's the idea, like developing relationships with retailers. Like, what better
Yeah.
way than to go and show the retailers exist to the
Yeah, because
audience.
I do that here. I mean, because I know a lot of. I mean, there's probably within 5-mile radius of my place, there's probably like 5 retailers, right? So
Well, now you're asking a lot for me to go out into the fucking world.
and then I'll hit
beyond the
and I see them
trees.
all
We
over
can
the
start
place.
with Connecticut, Neff. We'll go
Right, that's what
together
I'm
and
thinking,
we'll do
but-
tours.
And I'll walk in and I'll ask them like, "Hey, I got my new book. You want any?" And they go, "Yeah," and I'll drop off like 5-10 copies or whatever,
Yeah.
So
And then when you leave, like, what the fuck do we do with this?
Yeah.
yeah,
Bitch.
yeah.
Just
Nah.
tell them we sold it.
Yeah, you're right. So we sold it.
I just usually trade them out for like I need board and bags or something
Right.
like that. So
Right.
Yeah.
just give me
But-
store credit. I need board and bags.
Yeah, definitely. Well, AJ, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah.
Everyone, check
Great
out
show, guys.
68 Ultimate Omnibus on Kickstarter. There's 10 days to go now. 285 backers. Check it out. The link is below in the description. It's also in the live chat. It's pinned in the live chat. If it's not something you can afford at this time, you like this, you think it's great, please
Put it on your credit
copy and
card.
paste that. Yeah, put it on your credit card, steal your kid's college fund, whatever you got to do. But remember, you can always just copy and paste those links. Share out the links for indie creators. Post them on your socials, on your Facebook, your X, your Threads, whatever you're using. Help spread the word of what's going on. And good luck to you on this, Jay. I hope you break that 65K mark to unlock all those goals.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
sure you'll do it. And yeah, Cara, thanks again. Neff, as always, it's a pleasure. Mr. Tucci, another good show in the books.
Great
And
show.
everyone, have yourselves a great night. We will see you all on the next one, and go out there and back some books, people.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Night,
night.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.